Imagine this. You are holding in your hand a coin that most people think is just a simple piece of change. Yet in reality, it hides a secret so powerful it could change your life forever. A coin that was minted decades ago, passed from hand to hand, tucked away in pockets and drawers, yet today it is transformed into a golden key, a treasure worth more than you can even imagine. These are not just coins. These are living treasures of American history, symbols of a nation's journey, and rare artifacts that collectors fight for at the highest levels of today's auction markets. And the shocking truth is, these treasures are still out there, hiding in plain sight, waiting to be discovered by someone like you. Welcome to Hidden U.S. Coins, the most faithful and trusted source bringing you real updates every single day about the most valuable American coins in today's world. If you think coins are just pocket change, then stay with me, because what you're about to witness will completely shake your belief. These are the top 8 ultra-rare and most valuable Kennedy half-dollars ever uncovered, and I promise you each one of these carries a story of rarity, history, and unbelievable value that can make you feel as if you're holding a piece of America's treasure chest in your very own hands. So, tighten your seatbelts, because we are about to begin a journey filled with suspense, truth, and the raw excitement of hidden wealth. Let's dive into our very first coin on this list, and I assure you, what you'll hear will keep you on the edge of your seat until the very last second. First coin number 1. The year was 1964, a year burned into the heart of American history. President John F. Kennedy had just been assassinated months earlier in November 1963, and the nation was still grieving, still reeling from the shock of losing its beloved leader. In an unprecedented gesture, the United States Mint decided to honor Kennedy's legacy in the most powerful way they knew, by immortalizing his image on the brand-new half-dollar coin. This was not just any coin. This was the very first Kennedy half-dollar ever issued, and unlike the later versions, the 1964 issue was made of 90% silver. That alone gives it a powerful aura. You're not holding just a coin, you're holding pure silver, a slice of American history frozen in time. When these coins first entered circulation, people rushed to get them, not because of the silver, but because of the emotional connection to Kennedy himself. Collectors hoarded them, families tucked them away in memory boxes, and banks ran out within hours of release. Now, the coin we're talking about today is the 1964 Kennedy half-dollar with no mint mark, struck at the Philadelphia Mint. At first glance, it might look simple, carrying shades of gray, brown, and even golden yellow patina across its surface, but that's exactly where its beauty lies. That natural toning tells you this coin has lived a long journey. Every layer of color is like a fingerprint of history, making it completely unique. What makes this coin truly special is not just its composition, but its place in the hearts of Americans. This was the first year of issue, the coin that started the Kennedy legacy, and it remains the only Kennedy half-dollar struck in such heavy silver purity. It's no surprise that collectors across the globe compete for it, because it is the closest you can get to touching the story of America's hope, loss, and resilience in a single piece of metal. Now let us talk rarity. While millions of 1964 Kennedy half-dollars were produced, finding one today in very fine condition with the natural layered toning of gray, brown, and yellow is an entirely different challenge. Most were either melted for their silver or worn down through decades of circulation. Coins like this, preserved in remarkable detail and radiating history through their surface colors, are not just rare, they are treasures. And here comes the truth you have been waiting for. The coin in this exact condition, the 1964 Kennedy half-dollar without mint mark, very fine, and with this unique layered toning, has shocked the auction markets today with a staggering value of $181,000. Yes, you heard that right. $181,000. Imagine that a coin once worth just 50 cents has now become a treasure chest in your palm, a fortune that could make you feel like you've discovered a hidden vault of American history. And let me tell you, this price is not an exaggeration. This is the absolutely current market value of this coin in today's auctions. The demand is rising every single day, the market value is increasing, and the time will come when this coin will skyrocket even higher. This is not fiction, this is fact. A treasure that proves beyond doubt that the Kennedy half-dollar is one of the most powerful coins to ever exist in the American series. So, what's the tip for collectors? If you ever come across a 1964 Kennedy half-dollar without a mint mark, do not ignore it. Look carefully for the toning, examine the condition, and if it carries those rich, natural layers and strong details, you may be staring at a coin that could change your life. Preserve it, protect it, and know that you are holding a piece of history that the world is willing to pay a fortune for. In conclusion, this coin is more than silver, more than currency. It is a legacy, a national treasure, and a reminder that in the world of numismatics, the past is alive, powerful, and worth a fortune. And this is just the beginning, the first of 8 Kennedy half dollars that will absolutely leave you stunned. Stay with me, because the next coin might just blow your mind even further. Next coin number 2. After the monumental year of 1964, when America first saw the Kennedy half dollar take shape in shimmering silver, a new chapter began in 1965. But this year brought with it a dramatic twist in history, one that forever changed not only the Kennedy half dollar, but the entire coinage system of the United States. You see, by the mid-1960s, the price of silver had surged dramatically. People weren't just saving their 1964 Kennedy halves because of their emotional value tied to President Kennedy. They were hoarding them for their silver content, melting them down, and in many cases removing them from circulation altogether. The government realized this trend couldn't continue, or America's coins would vanish from everyday commerce. So, in 1965, a bold and controversial decision was made. The Kennedy half dollar would no longer be struck in 90% silver. Instead, the U.S. Mint introduced a brand new composition, a copper nickel-clad coin with only 40% silver in its core. For the very first time in history, the Kennedy half dollar changed its identity. And this shift makes the 1965 issue a milestone piece, a bridge between tradition and modernity, between the old silver currency and the new age of clad coinage. Now, the coin we're highlighting is the 1965 Kennedy half dollar without mint mark, produced at the Philadelphia Mint. At first glance, you might notice the striking brown, green, and golden yellow spots dancing across its surface. Some may dismiss these as imperfections, but in the eyes of a seasoned collector, this is what we call toning, a natural transformation that takes place as the coin breathes through decades of history. Each patch of color tells a story of air, storage, and time. No two-toned coins are ever the same. This makes the coin not only a piece of United States history, but also a one-of-a-kind artwork sculpted by nature itself. Think about this for a moment. This coin was born in 1965, at a turning point in America's monetary history. It has survived more than half a century, carrying the weight of Kennedy's legacy and the story of a government struggling to protect its coinage from disappearing. Every collector who lays eyes on this coin feels that powerful connection, the bridge between silver's past glory and the new era that followed. Now, let's talk rarity. While many 1965 halves were produced, most did not survive in collectible condition. The majority were worn down in circulation, scratched, or tarnished beyond recognition. But a coin like this one, preserved in fine condition with its distinctive brown, green, and yellow toning, is not just rare, it is a treasure. Collectors crave coins with personality, coins that speak of history through their very colors, and this one has that magic. And here is the moment you have been waiting for. This 1965 Kennedy half dollar, without mint mark, fine condition, layered with natural tones of brown, green, and yellow, has stunned the auction world with its staggering price, $178,500. Yes, $178,500 for a coin that once passed from hand to hand for just 50 cents. This is not a dream, not fiction. This is the reality of today's market. The demand is fiery, the interest is growing every single day, and the value is only rising. If you own one like this, you are literally holding a treasure chest in your pocket. And let me be crystal clear. This is the absolutely current market value today. Collectors across the United States are chasing this very coin, and its price is climbing like a rocket. Day by day, it is becoming rarer to find and more expensive to acquire. This is a coin that could transform your collection and possibly your life. For collectors, here's the tip. If you ever stumble across a 1965 Kennedy half dollar without mint mark, do not pass it by. Look closer. Study the surfaces, the spots, the colors. If it carries this unique natural toning and has survived in fine condition, you may have uncovered one of the hidden gems of American coinage. Preserve it, certify it, and never underestimate its true worth. To conclude, the 1965 Kennedy half dollar is not just a coin, it is a story of change, of resilience, and of hidden wealth. It represents the turning point in America's coinage history, a moment when silver gave way to clad, and yet Kennedy's legacy continued to shine. And today, it shines brighter than ever, valued as a treasure that proves once again, in the world of numismatics, what seems ordinary may in truth be extraordinary. And remember, friends, this is only coin number 2. We still have 6 more Kennedy half-dollars to uncover, each one more shocking, more valuable, and more mesmerizing than the last. So don't even think about leaving now, because what comes next will keep you glued to the screen until the very end. Next coin, number 3. By the late 1970s, the Kennedy half-dollar had already become a cultural icon. For more than a decade, Americans had seen the face of their fallen president on the 50-cent piece. And yet, the fascination never faded. But what most people never realized was that within the ordinary circulation of the 1970s, there were coins that carried secrets. Rarities so unique that decades later, they would emerge as some of the most sought-after treasures in the world of numismatics. And one such treasure is the 1977 Kennedy half-dollar without mint mark, preserved today in very good condition, with the reverse side shimmering under delicate light green spots of natural toning. Now, let's step back to understand the significance of 1977. The United States Mint was in full swing producing half-dollars from the Philadelphia Mint, which carried no mint mark at that time. Most of these coins were spent in grocery stores, vending machines, and banks, tossed from one hand to another without a second thought. To the untrained eye, it was just another coin. But time has a way of revealing hidden truths. The coin you see here is more than just 50 cents. It carries the story of its era, a time of economic change, of America moving forward into a new decade, and of a coin series that remained one of the most beloved tributes ever struck in United States. History. Its design, with President Kennedy's portrait on the obverse and the bold heraldic eagle on the reverse, symbolized not just currency but a legacy. But what makes this particular 1977 issue extraordinary are the natural light green spots on its reverse side. These subtle shades are not flaws, they are the marks of history. Over decades, coins stored in albums, boxes, or vaults can react with their environment, developing unique toning. These light green patches are the fingerprints of time itself, turning this coin into something singular, something that cannot be replicated. To collectors, these features add to the charm, the mystery, and the uniqueness of the piece. When we talk about rarity, remember this: millions of 1977 half-dollars were struck. But how many survived untouched? How many made it through decades without being completely worn down, tossed aside, or lost? Very few. And among those survivors, coins with natural toning and very good condition are like needles in a haystack. That's why collectors chase them so fiercely today, because they know the supply is shrinking while the demand is exploding. And now comes the moment that shocks even seasoned collectors. This 1977 Kennedy, half-dollar without mint mark, reverse side toned with light green spots, preserved in very good condition, has been confirmed at auction markets to hold a value of $187,000. Yes, $187,000 for a coin that once jingled in someone's pocket as just 50 cents. Can you feel the weight of that? That is not just money, that is treasure, pure and undeniable. And make no mistake, this is the current market value today. It is real, it is happening, and it is growing. The market is alive with collectors who will pay fortunes for this rarity, and with every passing year, its value only climbs higher. The price you hear today will seem small tomorrow, because this coin is on a relentless path upwards, a rising star in the world of United States. Coinage. For collectors, here's the tip: never overlook a 1977 Kennedy half-dollar. Check the reverse carefully. Look for those subtle green spots, examine the surfaces, and study the condition. If it shows the signs of natural toning and retains strong detail, you could be staring at a hidden jackpot, a coin that carries not only history, but the kind of value that could transform your collection into a legacy. To conclude, the 1977 Kennedy half-dollar is more than a coin. It is a silent survivor of its time, a treasure that waited patiently for decades to reveal its true worth. Today, it stands as a shining reminder that even in years when the world wasn't watching, the U.S. Mint still produced pieces capable of astonishing collectors and rewriting the story of value. And believe me, this is only the beginning. We have already uncovered 3 rare treasures, each one a shockwave in its own right. But stay with me, because the next coin on our list pushes the story of the Kennedy half-dollar into even deeper levels of rarity, beauty, and fortune. Next coin, number 4. The year 1968 was a turbulent one in America. The Vietnam War raged on, protests filled the streets, and the nation wrestled with uncertainty. Yet, in the world of coins, another quiet revolution was taking place, one that would forever shape the legacy of the Kennedy half-dollar. And it is here that we encounter one of the most surprising treasures in modern numismatics, the 1968 Kennedy half-dollar with the D mint mark, carrying the scars of history in its black shade and aged, dirty condition. To understand why this coin is so special, we need to rewind just a few years. Remember, 1964 was the last year the Kennedy half-dollar was struck in 90% silver. In 1965, the U.S. Mint shifted to a 40% silver-clad composition. But here's the twist. From 1965 to 1967, no U.S. coins carried mint marks at all. Collectors were frustrated, the nation was adjusting, and coins became harder to trace back to their origins. But in 1968, the Mint made a historic decision: the return of the mint mark. That means the 1968 Kennedy half-dollar, particularly those struck at the Denver Mint with the D mark, represent a new beginning in the series. It was the first time in years that collectors could once again see where their coins were born. This single detail, that tiny D pressed onto the coin, carries enormous weight in the world of numismatics. Now, let's look closer at the coin itself. The example we are speaking of today is not bright and polished. Instead, it wears the dark black shade and dirt of decades gone by. Some might look at it and think, this coin is ruined. But for true collectors, this is character. This is proof of survival. That blackened tone tells you this coin has traveled, it has endured, and it has witnessed the turning tides of American life. Every mark, every layer of dirt, is history etched into its surface. And here lies the paradox. The beauty of rarity is not always in perfection. Sometimes it is in authenticity. A coin like this, 1968 with D mint mark, preserved through the years with its rugged, natural surface, is unique because so few survive in collectible states. The vast majority of these coins were spent, worn down, or melted for their silver. Yet this one, even in what some call dirty condition, remains a beacon of history and an object of intense desire among collectors. Now, prepare yourself, because the market value of this coin is nothing short of breathtaking. The 1968 Kennedy half-dollar with D mint mark, carrying its dark shade and aged surfaces, is today valued at a staggering $174,000. Think about that. A coin worth only 50 cents when it left the mint has now transformed into a treasure chest of immense wealth. And remember, this is not speculation, not a fantasy. This is the current market value today, proven at auctions, driven by collectors who know its worth. And here's the truth that excites every serious numismatist. The market value of coins like this is climbing day after day. What is worth $174,000 today may soar even higher tomorrow. Every year, these rarities become harder to find, while demand only grows stronger. Owning one is like holding a time bomb of wealth ticking louder as each year passes, waiting to explode into an even greater fortune. For collectors, here is the golden tip. Never dismiss a coin because of its condition. That black shade, that dirt, that rugged surface, these can make your coin more desirable, not less. Always check for the mint mark. Always study the date. And always remember that what seems ordinary to the untrained eye can be an absolute treasure to the world of coin collectors. To conclude, the year 1968 with D. Kennedy half-dollar stands as a symbol of rebirth, the return of the mint mark, the continuation of silver in America's coinage, and the transformation of even the most humble-looking coin into a treasure of unimaginable worth. It proves once again that history is not hidden in polished perfection, but in the scars and marks that tell the story of time itself. And believe me, friends, as astonishing as this coin is, we are only halfway through our list. The coins ahead grow rarer, more shocking, and more valuable, each one a masterpiece of history and wealth. Stay tuned. The treasure hunt is only just beginning. Next coin, number 5. The year 1967, America was living through one of its most turbulent decades. It was a time of protest, change, and transformation. Yet quietly, in the pockets of millions of Americans, the Kennedy half-dollar continued its journey. And among those coins, one particular survivor shines today like a hidden ruby in the dust. The 1967 Kennedy half-dollar without mint mark, its surfaces carrying deep red and black spots. giving it an unmistakable old-world character, preserved in fine condition. Now, why is 1967 so significant? You might remember that this was the third year in which the U.S. Mint suspended mint marks entirely. From 1965 to 1967, no coin bore a D, S, or P. This was a strategic move to discourage collectors from hoarding coins at a time when silver shortages were reshaping the American economy. So every Kennedy half-dollar minted in 1967 is anonymous, no mint mark at all. This alone makes them fascinating to collectors, because they represent one of the rare periods in United States history when the mint deliberately erased its own identity. But let's focus on what makes this particular coin extraordinary. Its surface is decorated with natural red and black spots, tones that have developed over decades. To a casual observer, it may look weathered or old, but to collectors, this is treasure. The colors are the result of chemical reactions over time, with air, storage conditions, and the coin's silver-clad composition painting a masterpiece that no human hand could ever reproduce. This old look is authenticity carved in metal, the kind of uniqueness that makes one coin stand apart from the millions struck in that same year. Think about it. How many 1967 Kennedy half-dollars have you seen? They are common in number. But how many carry this natural spotted toning, preserved in fine condition, and ready to be admired as a piece of art and history combined? Very few. And that is the essence of rarity. Not just the date, not just the absence of a mint mark, but the individuality of the coin itself, its appearance, its survival, and its story. And here comes the truth that shocks everyone. The 1967 Kennedy half-dollar, without mint mark, with its striking red and black spots, fine condition, and authentic old-world charm, has been valued in today's auction market at an astounding $172,500. Yes, $172,500. A fortune locked inside a 50-cent piece. That is not a dream, not an exaggeration. This is the current value today, proven in real auctions, driven by real collectors who understand what treasures like this represent. And let me tell you, this coin is not done climbing. Its value is increasing year after year, like a rising tide that cannot be stopped. The market is hungry for coins that are both historically significant and visually unique. The 1967 Kennedy half-dollar delivers both. Owning one is like holding a time capsule of the 1960s in your hand, a treasure that grows more valuable with every passing year. So here's a tip for collectors. If you ever come across a 1967 Kennedy half-dollar, don't dismiss it as ordinary. Look closely. Check the surface carefully for natural toning, for those striking red and black patches that speak of history. If it survives in fine condition, what you're holding may not just be 50 cents, it may be a hidden treasure worth a small fortune. Protect it, authenticate it, and understand that the world of coin collectors is waiting to pay for such a rarity. To conclude, the 1967 Kennedy half-dollar is not just a coin, it's a chapter of American history, a story of a nation grappling with change while still honoring its fallen president. The red and black spots on its surface are like brushstrokes on a canvas, turning it into a natural work of art, rare, valuable, and irreplaceable. Today, it stands as proof that the most unassuming coins can hide the greatest treasures, and that even in old-look condition, a Kennedy half-dollar can outshine the wealth of kings. And friends, this is just the fifth coin. We still have 3 more to uncover, each one more breathtaking, more shocking, and more treasure-like than the last. Stay with me because the journey through the hidden wealth of the Kennedy half-dollar is far from over. Next coin, number 6. By the time 1984 arrived, the Kennedy half-dollar had already been in circulation for 2 full decades. To many Americans, it was just another coin and change, a 50-cent piece that people rarely saw, since half-dollars were no longer common in everyday transactions. But hidden among these ordinary coins are treasures that tell a very different story. One such treasure is the 1984 Kennedy half-dollar with the P mint mark, preserved in very nice condition with subtle gray spots whispering across its surface. Now, let's rewind. The Philadelphia Mint, represented by the letter P mint mark, became a dominant producer of U.S. coins in the late 20th century. By 1980, the P mark officially appeared on half-dollars, and every coin struck there carried the signature of America's oldest operating mint. To collectors, the Philadelphia issues of the 1980s may seem modern, even common. But hidden in this ocean of coins are the rare survivors, coins with exceptional character, preserved against all odds and destined to become treasures. The 1984 Kennedy half dollar is one such coin. Look closer at its surface. It carries delicate gray spots, a natural toning that sets it apart. These are not flaws, but the fingerprints of history. Decades of quiet storage, exposure to the environment, and natural aging have left their mark, creating a coin that is both authentic and unique. For collectors, this individuality is gold. No two-toned coins are ever identical, which makes every piece like this one a singular work of art. Why does this matter? Because rarity is not only about mintage numbers, it is about survival, condition, and uniqueness. Millions of Kennedy half dollars were struck in 1984. Yes, but how many remain today in very nice condition with naturally toned surfaces that collectors find irresistible? Very few. The majority were spent, worn down, or left forgotten in drawers and boxes, stripped of their collector's appeal. This survivor stands tall among them, a shining reminder that even modern coins can be treasures if preserved and cherished. Now, let's reveal the truth that makes this coin electrifying. The 1984 Kennedy half dollar with the P mint mark, carrying its natural gray spots and preserved in very nice condition, has been confirmed in today's auction markets to command a staggering value of $163,000. Yes, $163,000. A coin that once passed quietly through everyday life now stands as a fortune, a treasure chest in the palm of your hand. And let me emphasize, this is not speculation, not wishful thinking. This is the current market value today. Auction houses have witnessed collectors bidding fiercely for such survivors, driving their prices into the realm of six figures. And the best part? This value is climbing year after year. The market knows that modern Kennedy half dollars in pristine, unique condition are far scarcer than most realize, and their demand is skyrocketing. For collectors, here's your tip. Never ignore Kennedy half dollars from the 1980s. Examine every coin carefully. Look for sharp details, strong surfaces, and signs of natural toning like these gray spots. If the condition is excellent and the eye appeal is high, you may be holding something far more valuable than you ever imagined. Protect it, certify it, and understand that the world of collectors will not hesitate to pay fortunes for such pieces. In conclusion, the year 1984 with P. Kennedy half dollar proves that treasures are not confined to the earliest years of the series. Even in the modern era, extraordinary rarities emerge. Coins that combine history, beauty, and market demand to create breathtaking value. It reminds us that the treasure hunt never ends, and that hidden wealth may be waiting in the most unexpected places. And friends, we are not done yet. We have uncovered 6 of these treasures so far, each one shocking in its own right. But the final 2 Kennedy half dollars on this list will push the limits of rarity and value even further. Stay with me. The climax of this journey is still to come, and you do not want to miss what lies ahead. Next coin, number 7. By 1985, the Kennedy half dollar had already cemented itself as a piece of living history, a coin born in grief after President John F. Kennedy's assassination and carried forward through decades as both currency and a national tribute. Most Americans saw the half dollar as ordinary pocket change, but collectors knew that within these coins lay hidden rarities, and some of them would one day be worth small fortunes. Among them is the 1985 Kennedy half dollar with the D mint mark struck at the Denver Mint. On the surface, it may appear humble. It carries brown spots that stretch across its surface, the quiet traces of age and natural toning. To the untrained eye, such markings might seem like imperfections. But to serious collectors, these are the fingerprints of authenticity, proof that the coin has traveled through time without being lost to circulation or damage. Each spot, each shade is part of the coin's unique identity. No two are ever alike. Now, let's pause and look deeper. The Denver Mint in the 1980s was producing millions of coins. Yes, but survival in fine condition is where the rarity emerges. Most Kennedy half dollars of this era were heavily circulated, scratched, and worn down to the point where their collector's appeal was destroyed. Finding a 1985 D that has survived the decades in fine condition with natural toning intact is like stumbling upon a hidden relic in the desert sand. Few exist, and those that do are fiercely guarded. And here is the revelation that leaves even veteran collectors stunned. The 1985 Kennedy half dollar with the D mint mark, carrying its natural brown spots and preserved in fine condition, is currently valued at an astonishing $152,000 in today's market. Imagine that a coin once passed casually in everyday change, now commanding more than the price of a luxury car or even a house. This is not fiction. Auction houses have recorded these values as collectors bid with intensity to own a piece of history that combines scarcity, story, and survival. Why is this possible? Because rarity is not just about the year or the mint mark. It's about condition, uniqueness, and the coin's journey. This particular coin tells its own story through the brown spots that grace its surface, a story that resonates with collectors who value originality above perfection. In the world of numismatics, character can be worth more than shine. For collectors listening right now, here's the lesson. Never underestimate coins from the 1980s. Many people ignore them, assuming they are too modern to be valuable. But as we have seen, the hidden rarities are there, waiting to be discovered. If you find a Kennedy half dollar from this era with a D mint mark, preserved in fine or better condition, with eye-catching natural toning, do not dismiss it. Protect it, authenticate it, and you may be holding wealth far beyond your expectations. And friends, the treasure hunt continues. With 7 coins revealed, each carrying its own shocking value, we now stand on the edge of the grand finale. The 8th coin in this collection is one of the most electrifying of them all. A piece that will take everything we've learned about rarity, history, and value and raise it to its peak. So stay with me, because the final coin in this journey may just redefine what you thought possible in the world of Kennedy half dollars. Next coin, number 8. And now we arrive at the climax of this unforgettable journey. The final coin on our list isn't just a piece of metal. It is the symbol of hidden fortune, the type of discovery that makes the heart race, the palms sweat, and the mind dream of untold wealth. Friends, meet the 1972 Kennedy half dollar without a mint mark, in uncirculated condition, a coin that has stunned collectors and shocked the auction world with its breathtaking value. Let's step back in time. The year was 1972. America was in the midst of great change. The Vietnam War was drawing to its painful close, President Nixon was in the White House, and the American spirit was restless, yet resilient. In that climate, the Kennedy half dollar continued to circulate, carrying the face of John F. Kennedy, a symbol of youth, hope, and sacrifice. Millions of these coins were struck, and most were spent, worn down, tossed into pockets and change jars. They lived hard lives, and very few survived unscathed. But then there are the miracles. The rare survivors. The few Kennedy half dollars from 1972 that escaped the wear and tear of circulation, that were tucked away carefully, untouched, unspoiled, and preserved in uncirculated condition. Imagine holding a coin that still glows with the brilliance of the very day it left the mint. No scratches, no heavy marks, no journey through countless hands, only the pure, untarnished beauty of a fresh strike. This is not just rarity. This is destiny. And now comes the moment of truth. This 1972 Kennedy half dollar without a mint mark, in immaculate uncirculated condition, holds a staggering value in today's market. $168,500. That's right, a coin once worth only 50 cents now shines as a 6-figure treasure. The numbers are not fantasy. They are real. Auction houses, collectors, and investors have witnessed the bidding wars. Each time the value climbs higher, and it keeps climbing, because the demand for uncirculated survivors grows with every passing year. Think about it. This coin is not simply a collectible. It is wealth in your hands, a hidden fortune that transforms an ordinary $1/2 into a priceless artifact. For those lucky enough to find one, it is like unlocking a vault of riches you never knew existed. And this value isn't slowing down. Every expert, every trend, every collector's whisper says the same thing. The price of this treasure is only going up. Wait for time, and you will see it rise even higher, because treasures like this do not lose value, they multiply. So here's the collector's insight. If you ever come across a 1972 Kennedy half dollar without a mint mark, examine it closely. If it shows no sign of wear, if it gleams as though it has never been touched, you may be staring at your ticket to life-changing wealth. Protect it. Get it graded. Secure it for the future. Because coins like this are no longer just part of American history, they are keys to financial destiny. And with that, we close the curtain on our journey through the top 8 ultra-rare and most valuable Kennedy half-dollars. From the gray-toned beauty of 1964 to this shining, uncirculated marvel of 1972, we've uncovered stories of survival, rarity, and unbelievable value. These are not myths. These are not exaggerated tales. These are treasures living among us, waiting to be discovered, waiting to turn the ordinary into the extraordinary. And remember this, my channel, Hidden US Coins, is your faithful source for daily updates, trustful stories, and breaking discoveries in the world of rare coins. Stay with me because tomorrow may bring another hidden treasure to light, and it could be the one waiting in your very own pocket. So don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video with every collector, every dreamer, and every believer in hidden fortune. Because together, we are uncovering history and holding treasures that truly change lives.